Got your notes?
Got my notes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Not that they're bloody worth anything.
Oh, come on, mate. Come on, mate. I'll probably put them on eBay. Put them on.
You'll put a notes from your phone screenshot on eBay.
Yep. Yep. And then I'll email it to you.
No, thank you.
Oh.
What do you mean? You'll email it to me? Me or
No, the person who wins.
Oh, okay, right.
on
Okay,
eBay.
yeah, cool. But if I purchased it, you would email.
I would
it
have
to
to,
me.
wouldn't I? Yeah.
That's
That's the rules. That is the rules and the honor system of eBay, is it not?
It is true, yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to Caravan of Garbage, where we're making our way through the modern day Monsterverse movies.
That's right.
We're on movie number 2. We're on Kong Skull Island.
Let me tell you this, James. Couldn't make this movie today, could you?
Why is that?
Because you couldn't afford the cast.
Whoa, you're not wrong. What are we talking? Well, look, it's such a Marvel cast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and by that I mean it's, everybody's in Marvel movies now.
Everybody in Hollywood has done a Marvel movie at this point.
Here we go. Tom Hiddleston.
Yep.
Brie Larson.
Absolutely.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly. Shea Wiggum. He's in Agent Carter.
That's true, yeah.
Corey Hawkins. He's in Iron Man 3 briefly. Now, Brie Larson, to be fair, hadn't been announced as Captain Marvel.
Eugene Cordero. He's in Loki.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, he is too.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Toby Kebbell.
Toby Kebbell.
The bad Doctor Doom movie.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Brie Larson, though, of course, hadn't been announced as Captain Marvel until July of 2016. So, she wasn't Captain Marveling just yet.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it. You got to say something, don't you?
I got to say
look at me. I've got a YouTube channel and I make videos. I've got to say something in them.
Sometimes,
get over yourself.
Sometimes people do say that. They're like, you talk too much. And it's like,
yeah.
It's like, what are you here for? Look at images? Like,
yes. They've come to this looking for a video that says Kong Skull Island, all monster battles. That's it.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Or all helicopter goes past screen or whatever. All machine guns.
But look, if you're not here for that, or even if you are.
All machine guns reloading sequence. That's it. That's what they want. 10 million views probably.
Probably,
We're in the wrong business is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's easily replicated. That's why you make something that nobody would possibly want to replicate.
That's so true.
That's where success is, all right?
That's right.
Anyways, if you think success is leaving a like on this video, which I do, if you could do that, that would be great. I think this is the most fun of these modern movies.
Absolutely,
Just a real creature feature. Just a real good, gory, fun adventure time.
And you know what, though?
It's Jurassic Park,
It is, that's true.
It's not Jurassic Park. It's one of the better Jurassic Park sequels.
I like this one because it is gory, but it's sort of a lightweight kind of gory. Yeah. It's not gory in the way that the Peter Jackson King Kong was upsettingly gory. Slippery, and there's those leech things that suck you right off,
They suck you right off. They got Andy Serkis. They sucked him right off screen.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Help! I'm being sucked off by these monsters. Yeah,
but don't you don't need to rush.
Give me a minute.
It has a great cold open.
Yep.
Originally, this was going to be set in like 1917, and the director Jordan Vogt Roberts came in and said, let's make this a Vietnam-era Kong movie, and that's just a terrific idea, right?
Yeah.
And the imagery alone, Mason.
Oh, my God.
The music alone, Mason.
The sunsets alone.
The sunsets alone,
The helicopters
Mason.
going past the sunsets alone.
Yep.
The guns being reloaded in front of the sunsets alone.
All of that, Mason.
Now, I agree with you, but I also feel like maybe they tipped their hand a little bit early on King Kong. Like, you see him immediately.
Because of the title?
Oh, yeah, that's true also. Yeah, that probably is the biggest spoiler now that I think about it. But I think the imagery works, but also, I think it'd be more interesting in that cold open, maybe if the two enemy soldiers that have been shot down on the island, we see them being stunned by King Kong, but we don't see King Kong yet. But they're just like, no, he's King Kong. Yeah. I guess this is maybe a little reaction to Godzilla 2014, where they're like,
almost certainly,
we didn't see him yet. I'm sorry, we didn't see him for like an hour, and then they're like, well, you're going to see this guy in the first 5 seconds. Guess what? He's mean.
Yeah, some of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's being mean to you.
Well, it's not only him. It's like all the other creatures that they've got in this. So there's the Skull Walkers, which I think are pretty good. It's a pretty solid idea. I like that. That's a wiggly look.
Yeah. It's a snake with arms.
It's a snake with
There's
arms.
nothing scary than the idea of a snake with arms.
Exactly. It's a snake, but it can punch you.
That's right. It can give you a rude finger. Oh, guess what, snake? You can't get me. You can't get me with your venomous fangs. Oh, he's giving me the finger from across the room.
Wow. Speaking of snakes, though, some of the creatures that were cut was a giant snake, which Tom Hiddleston was going to fight, and also a giant tiger with antlers, and also a giant ant. But just the creature... What?
Say the two things before.
A giant tiger with antlers and a giant ant.
with tigers.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
with tigers. There's a moment where John C. Reilly's like, you hear that bird? That's not a bird. That's a giant ant.
Ah,
it sounds like a bird.
Oh, yeah, we never see the giant ant.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do see a sort of a big spider, but it's got legs that look like a bamboo shoots.
Oh, God,
We
I love
see
that.
this kind of big water buffalo that's not a threat, but I quite like that one. There's a big stick insect.
I like that they weren't all threats.
Yeah.
Because this is an isolated kind of ecosystem. There's just a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, so it's the mother long legs of the spiders.
Oh, yes.
There's the spore mantis. There's the skir buffalo. There's the leaf wings, which are the sawbirds.
Oh, yeah.
There's the log dog,
I love that.
which might be the spore mantis.
No, it's a search engine from the 90s.
Okay, right, yeah.
I'm just going to Alta Vista something on logdog.com.
There's also a squid and a deer. Now, the deer's not great.
Yeah.
It's just a deer, mostly.
And that sequence where King Kong fights that giant squid.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of just me eating spaghetti at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Just an absolute nightmare.
Well, it's actually very reminiscent. It's intentionally a nod to the movie Old Boy, 2013.
No, it
No, you
isn't.
know he eats the live squid?
Oh.
It's 100% that.
Huh.
Yeah, that's for real. That's legit.
Whoa.
My favorite,
I
though...
don't think you'd seen any other movies that we haven't discussed on this video series.
that might be true. You can't prove otherwise.
Yeah.
My favorite, though, is definitely that giant spider. Because you're walking through bamboo, my goodness. And it's a crab.
It is very crabby.
You don't know it's a crab, and it's a crab too.
You get bloody sucked off by this creature up into the sky, and you're like, well, don't worry about it, because he's just a little spider guy.
Exactly.
I can shoot him or stab him, whatever it is. He's got crab claws.
Yeah.
Gah!
Don't like him.
No.
I also think Tom Hiddleston proves himself here as a jungle combat man. He's not just a greasy wizard, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
He can do other things.
Yeah, he can be swarthy.
Yeah, you can tan him and blonde him.
He can have a little stubble
He's
as
fine.
a treat.
He's like...
You know?
As a dessert.
Yeah, there is one sequence I think that sort of, it's a little bit too superhero movie for me, I think.
Is it the bar scene?
No, it's the sequence where...
With the sword.
No, yeah, there's the sequence where all the green gas goes off, and he puts the gas mask off, and he picks up the sword, and he's sort of swinging through, and I'm all like, steady on, mate.
Yeah.
Leave some for the rest of us, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Steady on. But otherwise, I think you're absolutely right.
It's got a machine gun and a triceratops skull.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Really good stuff, mate. And you know who's really good in this?
Go on.
Well, he's probably most famously known for playing Fred Flintstone. But John Goodman, I'm just loving John Goodman turning up and just having a go.
Absolutely.
What a great addition. Yeah.
More like John Good actor.
Oh, wow.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if there's one downfall to the casting...
It's not John Goodman, is it?
No.
Is it because there's too many people?
There's too many people in this movie.
Is it because that some of the characters that are in it, they barely say anything?
That is exactly
There's
right.
a woman in this she seems important, but she doesn't do anything?
Yeah, she's sort of an assistant to a...
John Goodman's assistant?
No, I think she's John Goodman's assistant's assistant.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, but then she disappears for like most of the movie, and then she's back at the end, and we're like, oh, you're still alive.
Yeah.
There you go. Good for you.
Wow. A bird didn't pick you up and saw all your limbs off. No, good for you. That's great.
Yeah.
Tell you what, though.
Go on.
Kong's first attack on the helicopters. All of that is great stuff.
He's a good throw. He's an accurate throw.
He's probably been doing a lot of throws.
At what? Birds, I guess. Pterodactyls.
Yeah, no, he would be, wouldn't he? I mean, he can use tools. That's the idea, right?
That's true, yeah.
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 That's how he works. So Kong in this, Toby Kebbell, who's of course in this movie, he did the facial capture. He played Koba in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
But Terry Notary, he did the body mocap for it.
Do you think they had to do it as a team?
Yeah.
Do you think Toby Kebbell was piggybacked on top of the other guy? Had to do it together?
Almost certainly.
Yeah, because that's the only way you can get the height.
Yes. Now, I think also when you go this big, and we'll talk specifically about the sizes that are going on here for King Kong, you do run the risk of kind of alienating audiences when he's fucking enormous.
Yeah.
But I think it really works here. Like in every scene that he's in, he feels scaled appropriately.
Appropriately scaled? Is he bloody Godzilla? Is it?
You know when you see him like walking through the water, it feels like, did you ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
Sure.
Like that kind of like movement and the fur and all of that.
Yeah,
I love all of that.
Glowing weak spot on his head.
Exactly.
But you can't get to it because you're underneath it.
You're underneath, you can't get to it, yeah. And the emphasis on the design for this was, he's not a gorilla.
Okay.
Right? If you look at the Peter Jackson one, like that's a gorilla,
Sure.
right? So this time...
This guy's more of a Magilla?
Yeah, he's a Magilla. Well, yeah, he's a man gorilla, essentially. So... he's inspired by...
A manrilla?
Yeah, a manrilla.
Okay.
He's inspired by the original King Kong in the sense that, you know, there are human-like characteristics to him. Like, he walks upright.
That's true.
He's a great shot, you know? Yeah, he walks that line.
he can recognize beauty because there's a moment where he could absolutely kill Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston at nighttime, but then it's like the golden hour and he's like, those guys are too beautiful.
Pretty sexy stuff, actually.
Can't kill those guys. Maybe later. Maybe later.
Yeah. Also, did you know about the hidden Kong in this? There might be a second Kong.
Second Kong?
You know, we see King Kong's parents in this, their bones.
Yeah.
So Jordan Vogt Roberts, hope I'm saying that right. He suggested that the Kong that was encountered by young Marlowe at the start of the movie is possibly Kong's father.
Oh.
That I don't know whether that's true or not, or that's been retconned, because there's been a prequel comic like about his parents as well. But that's all good.
Oh, in the comic, they're just human beings. What the heck? Mary.
I also think what carries this movie a long way is that there's a lot of fun moments. There's a bit where Shea Wiggum is talking about the helicopter attack, and like everyone's kind of freaking out, and he's just like casually eating food. And he's like, that was an unconventional encounter.
Yes.
And he says, there's no tactical precedent. We did the best we could in the situation, which is true.
Yeah. I have a note here. It just says Shea Wiggum MVP because he is great in this movie. Always enjoy an appearance from Mr. Wiggum. And there is, of course, a great sequence, which is played based on the musical cue you hear behind it. It's played as like a real noble sacrifice, but it is so funny.
It's really funny.
He primes 2 grenades, hoping that one of the skull walkers will eat him and then explode. But then it just tail whips him into a mountain and he explodes.
Fun stuff.
But this movie, interestingly, is played for the most part very sincerely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's just we've overdosed on kind of MCU quippy snark.
Sure.
But most of this is just like, like straight ahead. People are they're keeping it real, you know?
Yeah.
In trying circumstances.
Definitely. And they're limiting the quips to certain characters, like another MVP. John C. Reilly's great in this.
Yeah,
What an addition.
He's an American soldier who crashed on the island before the end of World War II, and then over the intervening decades has become a real weeb. He's learned how to handle a traditional Japanese sword.
He knows the blade.
That's right.
He studied the blade.
That's right.
Yeah.
If he'd landed on this island a little bit later, he'd know everything about Neon Genesis Evangelion. Which would be helpful, I think, fighting Kong.
Oh my God, so helpful, yeah. He's just got a lot of great little moments in this. And he's got a really, I feel like, his ending where he gets to go home to his wife and his son. It's all good and emotional and he gets what he wants, you know?
Yeah, and he just wants to have a hot dog and a beer while watching the big game. Yeah. But what's notable, I think, about that scene, or what struck me, is that he's just on the couch by himself. Like he's shown back up and his wife, is surprised and he meets his son for the first time. And then he's just like, you two get out. I'm going to watch the game. Do something else. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. I think another standout moment in this, well, all of the Kong stuff is really standout, but that battle at the end is great. And he's using, he uses weapons. There's a moment where he like strips a tree of all its branches. Yeah. That's great. He uses a propeller on a chain. That's really good stuff. That whole final battle's just really, really terrific.
And then he whips the Skullwalker's entire string of internal organs out through its mouth.
So good.
Cool as hell. Yeah.
And then he saves Brie Larson. He goes, come on, Brie Larson, I'll take you home.
That's right.
Well, I'll take you to the shore.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you home.
This is probably a reference to a previous King Kong movie. Yeah. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Because you're a lady and I've got a...
That's right.
You're a little lady in my big hand and here we go.
This is one of the only King Kong movies, I think, where he doesn't die either.
Oh, or climb a big building.
And then die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So the post-credits, though, of course, it hints towards what's next, and it's going to be a big Godzilla battle. You have to wait a movie, and then they'll do that.
Sure,
obviously.
Yeah.
There's going to be an okay movie after this one.
The director comes out and goes, look, we didn't have the time or the budget to give you another movie at the end of this movie, so you're going to have to wait. We'll have to wait a while.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But let's do the section of the show that we're going to be doing every week.
Oh, yes.
It's called How Big Is It?
Oh, nice. I like
Talk about scale and size. Now, Peter Jackson's...
Sometimes related to the movie, sometimes not.
Just in general, yeah.
Now, Battleships, big.
Agreed.
Bigger than a man. You can fit many men in them.
Battleship, the board game, smaller.
Small, can't fit any men in there.
Can't fit no men in it. Peter Jackson's King Kong, by comparison, was only 25 feet or 7.6 meters tall.
That's the coward's height for a giant monkey.
Agreed.
That's nearly Mighty Joe Young height.
Blurk and yuck. Yeah. This movie, though, features the tallest incarnation of Kong at the time. Yeah. Oh, in an American movie at least. Standing at approximately 32 meters or 104 feet.
Well, James, that's not going to be big enough to fight Godzilla, is it?
You're right. Let's cancel the movie.
Okay.
We can't.
Okay.
Let's cancel talking about it then.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Anyways, it's time for Kong Skull Trivia.
Love that.
So director Jordan Vogt Roberts admitted that he was strongly influenced. He admitted it.
Yeah,
We got him.
We got him, folks.
He was strongly influenced by video games from his childhood. So this is why there's a number of references in this, including the point of view shot of guns being fired, like a first-person shooter. The shot of the helicopter making a 360-degree spin towards the ground was inspired by a similar scene from a Resident Evil game.
Oh, James, I got to stop you here. This is starting to sound like the director of this movie is like a young person, young and vital, and has made a movie, whereas we've done nothing, and it's really starting to make me feel
That can't
a
be
little bit
right.
upset.
I think sometimes older people, like, who's the guy who did Halloween? John Carpenter, right? He loves video games.
Yeah.
That's all he wants to do. It's probably a John Carpenter
It's probably
type
that.
thing.
It's probably this guy's probably a real old fogey, you know.
He's probably 50.
Oh, I remember playing Resident Evil. Okay, Grandpa. All right, mate.
The character named Mason Weaver is taken from the video game Call of Duty Black Ops, where there are two different characters. One is called Mason, one is called Weaver. And the design of the skull crawlers, that came from the Pokemon Cubone.
Wow. So, folks, if you're out there, if you own any of those intellectual properties, it's lawyer time.
That's right.
We're going to get this guy.
Lure up, bitch. He admitted it.
Yeah, you admitted it. We got him.
With Cubone, can you take the skull off that thing?
I don't know.
What's
With
under there?
Pyramid Head, can you take his pyramid off?
Wow.
What's under there? Some sort of psychosexual thing, probably.
Probably
Look
a,
out.
Probably a sex thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Steady on. Just get over yourself, Pyramid Head.
Do you also remember, I think his name's Triangle Face. Do you also remember this director went on a tirade on Twitter concerning CinemaSins' critique of this movie? Do you remember this?
I do remember this, yes.
Yeah, and look, man, he makes some pretty valid points. I'm not here to go in on other YouTube channels, but he basically talked about how they either like misinterpreted or didn't understand or just got things wrong about this movie. And he said, Mystery Science Theater built something artful. I guess he'd also mean that we're doing the same thing, right? This is artful.
No, this is
You don't think this old man would think this is artful?
I don't know,
This
man.
old crank?
Yeah, who knows? All he knows is it's not soup and he hates it.
Mystery Science Theater builds something artful, endearing, and comedic on top of the foundation of other people's work. It has merit to itself. Things like CinemaSins simply suck the lifeblood off other people and are often just wrong about intent or how cinema works. It's terrible. Now, of course, though, he did co-write the Honest Trailer, which is obviously a different YouTube channel.
Okay,
so
right.
yeah, he's not against
Yeah.
online YouTube film criticism.
James, if I do have a CinemaSins here,
Yeah.
and it's only tangentially related, but I only have one note left, so I thought I'd just
Here we
throw it
go.
in there. There's a moment where a couple of the Marines, they learn that a particular patch of the island is flammable because one of them says to the other, hey, there's no time to smoke a cigarette, and he throws the cigarette down and it blows up. And I'm like, imagine anyone from the 70s, let alone a soldier in the US Army, saying there's no time to smoke a cigarette. I don't believe it. Ding!
Now, apparently there was an alternate opening that was initially going to take place during World War II where soldiers were fighting on a beach and a massive ape, which was similar to 2005's King Kong, attacks them and is immediately gunned down. However, then the real King Kong emerges and is many times more massive and threatening, but the studio told Jordan, old man Jordan, that you can't do that.
Wow. They said, who's this other friggin' ape?
Yeah.
And Jordan was like, I don't know, man. Just another ape?
Yeah.
I can't invent another ape. And they're like, you cannot. It's in your contract.
Anyways, in terms of box office, this had a budget of $185 million and a return of $566.6 million.
Not bad.
Which was up on Godzilla's $529 million. That's a slight increase.
Yeah.
This is great. What a fun movie.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. And not because I don't want to be Twitter tiraded, Mason. I would love to be drawn into a Twitter tirade.
One of those Twitter tirades.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
But I just think he just understood the assignment.
I agree.
You know?
Good bit of fun.
Yeah.
I've seen a good creature feature, and we've seen a few recently. Not as good.
Which one specifically?
Meg 2.
Oh, yeah, the Meg 2. That's got a bit at the start where you think is a big thing and then the Meg shows up or whatever.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh my God, it's a T-Rex. But then it's a Meg
Yeah.
or something.
Pretty. Yep. Good. Great.
They made it.
They sure did.
Yeah.
As far as I know, unless I dreamed it.
You may have dreamt
Unless I
it.
dreamed it and it was bad, which it's not impossible.
True. Anyways, if you like to see any of these videos early, you actually can if you head over to bigsandwich.co, where Ben and Lawrence, they get a terrific edit done and it goes up there almost straight away, doesn't it?
Whoa.
Yeah. It's normally a couple of days early. But also, there's bonus exclusive movie commentaries. There's bonus podcasts. We do video game Let's Plays. Our podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows, that actually comes out there Sunday early as opposed to Monday. But if you just want to hang around here and subscribe or check out our podcast, it's got its own YouTube channel. It's on Spotify, Apple, all of the different programs. We're actually putting it on Twitter because they can do 3-hour videos now or whatever.
What?
No.
Oh.
But we could.
Oh my God.
But it's,
Just hang out here, folks.
Hang out here, man.
Just hang out in the lobby, you know?
Yeah, hang out in the lobby.
Real Habbo Hotel situation.
What's your gamer tag?
Yeah, tell us your gamer
Tell
tag.
old man Jordan.
That's right. He'll play a game of bloody Pitfall with you.
He might just.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everyone.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.